All right, what is going on, everybody? This is part two of NBA mid-season report cards. Like I said in the first video, I was gonna formulate this video differently, and then I thought, why not just talk about every team in every conference? If I want to talk about a team, I'll talk about it. Um, if there's nothing to say about a team, there's just nothing to say. That either means they're really good or really bad. We are breaking them down into tiers. There's the green tier. That's basically you got nothing to worry about. Maybe one thing, but that's pretty much it. You have the yellow tier, which is usually just like exciting young teams that I think could either go up in the standings or go down. And there's just the really bad teams. Some of those teams include in the really bad category the 76ers, who will probably take up a chunk of this video at some point. But that's neither here nor there. If you like what I have to say, like the video. If you have any opinions, comment them down below. If you just like the vibes, consider subscribing. Um, yeah, we're gonna go through all these teams. I did the West first. The West was the harder conference for me to talk about, for a lot of reasons. There's a lot of stuff going on, but I think the East is a lot more chill. There's a lot more um, concrete stuff. But otherwise, I think this should be the shorter video, hopefully. If you want to check out the first part of this video, I'll put a link in the top right corner. Just click it and you can check it out. And maybe check out some other videos and stuff on the channel. Anyways, let's get into the green tier. I know I said report cards. Um, Report card is just a ubiquitous term. I'm not giving teams A, B, C, D. There's green, yellow, and red. Green is good, yellow is okay, and red is bad. We all know this. It's simple stuff. Anyways, let's start with the number one team in the East, the Cleveland Cavaliers, who got off to a raging start, a really phenomenal start. Made a great midseason acquisition in DeAndre Hunter. I think that's really going to help them. Um, the only thing they have to worry about, unless there's some freak thing that happens, is whenever a team tries to chase the number one seed, I feel like it's to their detriment, especially when they're like a rookie. I won't say rookie team, but a younger team, a younger, like I won't say not inexperienced, but just like when it's a franchise first chance of success, I feel like chasing that number one seed is important, but I feel like it wears on these players a little bit, and I think that's the only thing that I'd be slightly concerned about. But hey, man, they're only 5 games above the Celtics right now, which is crazy. And I think the Celtics have the season series right now. Yeah, they have the season series right now. That would be in order for a tiebreaker if they do end up with the same ending result this season. For those who do not know, so that's the only thing they have to worry about. The Celtics. Moving on to the Celtics. Pardon me. Moving on to the Celtics. 39-16 on the season. I don't have a problem with this Celtics team. Like, it's so frustrating that this team is so good. At some moments, they have bad games. They have really bad games where they just don't make any threes. Um, Led by the guy on your screen, Jason Tatum, who is not in MVP conversations, which we will get to. We'll get to some awards and stuff at the end of this video. But I don't think they have any problems. The only problem they have is that some nights the threes just don't fall, and I think those nights are few and far between. But I think that if you're just leaving it up to a night where you just don't make your threes, I think that's a pretty good team. You're good at everything else, really. Yeah, I don't want to make too many loud assumptions because to be honest, I haven't watched the Celtics team. I've only watched it when it's like when they're playing really good teams because I like to see them get their get their groove on, you know. The Knicks are the next team at 3. I got to watch the Knicks play live the other night. Very cool stuff. I think it was like my fifth or sixth time at Madison Square Garden. freaking amazing. Um, anyways, I really, I really like this Knicks team. They just need to stay healthy because if they don't have OG Anunoby or bodies to throw at the Celtics, the Cavaliers, the Bucks, it could get real spooky. I think this is I think for the offseason trade they made in getting Carl Anthony Towns, this is a knock out of the park season. It's not a perfect season, but you knocked it out of the park. And I think even if you fall short, or even if you do make it to the conference finals, I think this is a successful season because everybody's in their prime, everybody's in their window. Just need to stay healthy. And I really like this team. I like what Cat brings. I think it was obviously talked about when they got him that he's going to bring more scoring at all three levels, in the paint, in the mid range, and from 3 point land. His defense is improved. I really like his defense. Some nights it's still a little lackadaisical since I think he is playing the five full time, which I think it is his natural spot, but I don't think he can do that all season. Also, they need Mitchell Robinson to play. Mitchell Robinson has been out the whole season. That was usually their starting center. He needs to come back and just play, just be a body. I don't think Mitchell Robinson is that good. I think he's quite overrated, but I think they just need the extra body at the five spot. Pacers, they're always creeping around here, man. They're always creeping around from 4 to 7, the 4 to 7 spot. They're always creeping around. I like the Pacers. I just don't know if I believe in Tyrese Halliburton yet. I like Tyrese. I really do. I like the archetype of Tyrese Halliburton too. A guy who can shoot the three, a guy who can pass the ball, a guy who's okay on defense, can get a couple poke steals here and there. I just don't. I just don't. They're a really tough out. They are a really tough out. Like if I'm the Knicks, the Bucks, the Pistons, the Magic, I don't want to play the Pacers. I said this about the Clippers team in another video, a couple of weeks ago at this point. If I'm not confident my starting five is not better than the Pacers starting five, I'm worried. I'm genuinely worried. Now I might have gone overboard saying the Bucks, but I think the Bucks. I don't think I think we'll get to that in a minute. My mind's all over the place. Let me talk about the Pacers. I think the Pacers have, if the dice roll the right way, I think the Pacers can make it to the conference finals. I really do. I like this team a lot. But we have to see. There's 30 more games left. They're about 9 spots behind not 9 games behind the Celtics, and about even more against the Cavaliers. Moving on to the Bucks, who also made an midseason acquisition of NBA champion Kyle Kuzma, who won a championship with the Lakers, was stuck in no man's land in purgatory in Washington, playing for the Wizards, and the Bucks picked him up for Chris Middleton and a bag of chips. Um, I like the addition of Kyle Kuzma. I just don't I just don't know if the Bucks window is closed. I just don't know if it's closed or not. Because they did win a championship a couple years ago. It was a great achievement for the team, for Giannis, their MVP and Defensive Player of the Year. I just don't. I'm not saying the team is bad. I'm just saying the window in the East is so much harder now, and the the margin for error is so much smaller now. It's just so much smaller. It's shrunk. And the thing about this Bucks team is that it only goes as far as Giannis goes. Dame has never had success. Their starting point guard, who's also in this picture you're looking at, to the left of Jason Tatum, to the right of you watching. Um, this team only goes as far as Giannis goes, and I don't. I think they're a great team. I think they're a good constructed team. I think Kyle Kuzma brings something that they didn't have before, where they can run small ball five. It can either be Kuzma or Giannis at the five, and then bring in a bunch of guys, to shore up the wing spots and the guard spot. But man, I just don't know if this team's window is closed. Let me see. I have to look at their schedule here. Let me look at the Bucks here real quick. Let me pull up the Bucks. The Bucks are 29-24 on the season. I did have a lot of questions about them earlier this season, and I still do have some questions about them. But hovering around this play-in, this freak, I closed the tab. Whoopsies. Um, hovering around this play-in area. I mean, you're only 2 games above the play-in right now. I don't know. Um, but the rest of their season, ah, ooh, yeah, March is a tough month for them. March is a really oof, oof. All the from March all the way to the end of the season looks really tough. I don't know, man. They need to be careful. They need to if this team wants to go far, they need to stay out of the play-in. And I think they will. I'm kind of concerned about the conference getting better and them sort of staying stagnant. And I will give him credit for making trades, making a trade, and getting off Chris Middleton. I know that's hard because Chris Middleton was a champion. He was a homegrown talent with you guys. But I'm just worried that the conference has gotten so much better that they're sort of lagging behind a little bit. Um, and a team that I think could actually um, not take the Bucks spot, but fight with the Bucks and the Pacers for avoiding a play-in spot is the Pistons. And I made a video about the Pistons a couple weeks ago. Check that out if you want to hear about the Pistons. I'll put a card in the top right corner. Um, this I really like this freaking Pistons team, man. I knew this season was coming. It's just such an under the radar team right now. That like a lot of people aren't talking about, but the Pistons are very good. They're 29-26, mind you. That's where they're standing right now. But their team is nice. I really like their team. And they have a lot of fight in them. They have a lot of fight. They have a lot of just oomph. Even without their star Cade Cunningham, they bring a lot of fire to the game. I'm just gonna name some names here of guys I like. Malik Beasley has revived his career there. Um, Cade Cunningham, like him, obviously All Star. Jalen Duren, really like him. Tim Hardaway Jr., who's a every other week guy, shows up every other week, but is a vet they needed. Tobias Harris, who's shown out this season back in a Detroit Pistons jersey. Jaden Ivey, like Jaden Ivey. Uh, they got Dennis Schroeder, really good vet. Not the biggest fan of Isaiah Stewart. Um, and Asor Thompson, Ahmed Thompson's brother. And they have former Warrior, Lindsey Waters. Shout out Lindsey Waters. um, yeah, I really like this Pistons team. I'm I, I don't know whose spot they could possibly take, but I have them trending upwards. Um, I don't know if that's even possible. I just think the pace they're on, they can keep winning games. Does that mean they can take over the Bucks or the Pacers in the standings? Probably not, but I think if they consistently still win these games, they could stay around here. And if they get a playing game or they get to avoid the playing, great for them. Another team I wanted to talk about that was really high on at the beginning of the season was the Magic. I'm not really loving what I'm seeing from the Magic recently, and I'm hearing that their star Paulo, who came back from injury maybe a month ago at this point, is not 100%. A lot of Magic fans are saying he's moving weird, like he's not moving like he did in the beginning of the season, and he might be like still injured and working through it. If that's the case, I really don't like this Magic team without him. And I think it's time for them to make a move. I think this offseason they should go hunting for another guy or a another piece. I shouldn't say another guy because they have their guys. They have um, Paulo Banquero and Franz Wagner. I think they need another. They need a big swing on the role player market. They need a big swing. I don't know who that is, but for this season, I think they stay around here. They stay around 7. They are 27 and 29. Um, yeah, that's really all I have to say about them. I hope they turn it around, but I don't think they will. I think this is where they're at, which is okay. It's a playing spot, which is good. Moving on to a team that I think is going to trend downwards, it's got to be the Hawks, man. They're sitting at 8 right now. They're 26 and 29 on the season. They traded a lot of guys. I went over that in my trade deadline video. Um, I think they're going to throw away the rest of the season. They have so many injuries, and they traded away so many role players that would have helped them in playoff situations. I don't think I don't think they're doing anything. I think they trend downwards, and they might even, with some luck, the 76ers could take the the Hawks spot. We'll see. Um, the Heat, the Heat with a lot of trades, the Jimmy Butler scenario situation finally coming to an end. I think they stay around here. Unfortunately, I think they have a lot of talent to continue to be better in the coming seasons, but I think right now, for the 30 games they have left, sitting at 25 and 28, I think they stay around here at 9. Not a bad season for them, just a weird season, a season to change. And I think it's going to take them probably this half and then next season to find their role again, find their spot again, find their groove again, so to speak. Um, and the next couple teams I want to just touch on very quickly before we get to the Sixers is the Bulls, Nets, Raptors, Hornets, and Wizards. Um, I think all these teams are just planning on being bad for the rest of the season. I think the Raptors are the only ones that might try to win a couple games because they did acquire Brandon Ingram and they did come to an agreement to sign a 2-year extension. So Brandon Ingram will be in Toronto into the late 2020s. And yeah, I think these teams will just be bad for the rest of the season. I don't have anything to say about them. They're in the Cooper Flag sweepstakes right now. I can tell you who's at the top of that right now. Um, the Wizards. The Wizards are still getting Cooper Flag according to Tankathon. The next best odds in this conference, in the in the Eastern Conference, pardon me, is the Sixers. Oh no, pardon me, is the Hornets. So these teams will be bad. And now to talk about my my second favorite team to talk about, the Sixers. That's right, the Sixers. My favorite team to dunk on the past couple months. I freaking told people, I was like, yo, this team's gonna be bad. I didn't think they'd be this bad, but they're gonna be bad. Oh man, where do you start with this Sixers team, man? Um, a bunch of bullshit. That's what it is. They are 20 and 30 now. To preface this before I start really digging in on them, I think their record's gonna improve. Every time I tune into a Sixers game, they're competing. You have to give them that. Without Joel, sometimes without Paul George, they're competing, and I have to give them a lot of credit. I have to give Tyrese Maxey credit. I have to give um, Kelly Oubre credit, Gershon Yabusele credit, um, Ricky Council, guys who actually are playing in these games. They're fighting, and it's kind of sad that we will never really know what this team is with a healthy Paul George and a healthy um, Joel Embiid. Because to be honest, both these guys are so injury prone. It's ridiculous. And I had this thought in the beginning of the year. Well, I expressed this thought in the beginning of the season when it started really turning topsy turvy for him. Maybe because right now you're sitting at 6 in the draft. You get the number 6 pick. Maybe you just, I know it's hard to admit defeat, and the Sixers are probably not going to do this, but maybe you just blow it up. Maybe you just say, hey, we messed up. We messed up, guys. Just trade it all. Trade it all. Keep Maxey, keep Jared McCain, and just move on from this era because this era of this season is basically what the entire era of Sixers basketball has been. There are moments of brilliance where all three of their stars are playing. Maxi, Joel, George, role players look amazing. And then there are other nights when none of those guys play, or Maxi's the only one that's playing and he's shooting terrible from the field, and you lose the game. Either it's a blowout or it's a close loss. I could talk about this team all day, but I won't. I'll save that for the end of the year when I can make a full deep dive on how bad this season has been for them. This is the season for from hell for the Sixers, man. Um, and the thing is, I don't think it's anybody's fault but their GM Daryl Morey because you signed Paul George to a contract that nobody else was willing to give him for obvious reasons because they knew Paul George was washed. Can I say that now? Can I say that without being judged? Paul George is washed. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what. I really don't care. Paul George is washed. He's done. He's cooked. He's over. It's over for Paul George. He pulled off the heist of a century, getting a 5-year, $100+ million deal from the Sixers to play. How many games has he played this season? Let's see. How many games? How many games? How many games? Show me how many games. He's played 35 games. Yeah. Second star, definitely. How many has Joel played? Well, it's typical by now that Joel doesn't play a lot of games, but Joel has played 17. Yeah, this team sucks. Um, I never want to hear about another Sixers team constructed this way. This team is okay. Like I had I I had high hopes for this team at the trade deadline in the beginning of the season. I was like, okay, this roster kind of sucks, but they could make some moves, maybe do something, maybe get more guys, and they could be a real threat. And then Joel missed the first half of the season. Paul George missed the half of the season. Jared McCain got injured. Tyrese Maxey has been in and out, but he's been trying to play. Just a bad season for the Sixers, man. Bad season. Terrible season. And the last thing I'll say about this, and I haven't said it on this channel, but other people have said it, so I'll repeat what they have said. Um, Joel Embiid just doesn't move like the way he used to, and he's just, I don't want to say he's fat or he's just out of shape. He's not in game shape. And how can you be in game shape when you've played 17 games, you're constantly rehabbing injuries, and you can't get on the floor? How are you supposed to be in shape? You can't. And news came out, and the Sixers had or not Sixers. Joel Embiid said this himself. He said, "I'll probably need to have another knee surgery in the offseason." So guess what, Sixers fans? Throw out next season too, because this guy's not going to be healthy. I hope you're ready for the next 3 years of Paul George and Tyrese Maxey, because this team's about to suck. If Joel Embiid needs another knee surgery, oh boy, oh boy. Um. Anyways, that's the report cards for the Eastern Conference. Let's talk about some awards here. Um. These are the betting favorites um, for various awards brought to you by Andre Snelling from ESPN. He wrote this article. Thank you, Andre. Let's go through some of these very quickly because I haven't talked about awards all season. And I think now's a good time to talk about it. Um, my MVP is Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, but they also have Nikola Jokic here, Giannis, who's getting some late buzz here, and Jason Tatum. I'll take Shea. I think Shea's the MVP. I think Jokic has a case, but Jokic already has three. It's going to be Shea's first. They're the best team in the West. Give me Shea Gilgeous-Alexander for his first MVP. Rookie of the year. It's going to be Zach Edey. I don't want it to be Zach Edey. I think Zach Edey's the most boring pick you could make. But my picks would probably be like Stephon Castle. It was Jared McCain who was probably going to win it before he got injured, but it probably will be Zach Edey. I have no. It makes no difference to me really. Six man of the year. I'm big on DeAndre Hunter winning six man of the year. They have Peyton Pritchard winning it, but I like DeAndre Hunter, man. I think DeAndre Hunter deserves it, especially what he did in Atlanta and now what he's gonna do in Cleveland. I think it's gonna be great. Let's see. Most improved. This is a word I don't really think about a lot, but I think they have Cade Cunningham winning it right now from the Pistons, who probably deserves it. Um, but thinking about it now, I like Norman Powell. I think what Norman Powell is doing is the definition of most improved player. I don't think second year players should win most improved because you're supposed to get better in your second year. I think if you have gone your whole career and you're just an okay role player, maybe you've had a couple great seasons, but you take a leap like Norman Powell has, I think Norman Powell deserves it. I think Tyler Hero is in that same category where Tyler Hero has already won most improved player. Has he won most improved? Hold on. I think he won six man of the year, pardon me. Let me see. Tyler Hero. Yeah, okay, so he won six man, my bad. Tyler Hero won six man of the year. He hasn't won most improved. I think Tyler Hero needs to be in that conversation too. So I think it's Cade, Tyler, and Norm for me. Jalen Johnson does have a case, but he's gonna miss this half of the season. I don't think people are gonna vote for him. Sadly, Dyson Daniels too. So many improved players this year. Defensive player of the year. It's got to be the Frenchman, the San Antonio sensation, Victor Wembanyama. He has my vote. Um, Coach of the year, man, Kenny Atkinson. Ah, man, it's probably gonna be him because he's turned it around in Cleveland. They were good, but now they're great. You know, I think that's deserving of Coach of the Year. I think Tom Thibodeau in New York has a case. Uh, Ime Udoka in Houston. I'd vote for Ime. I'd vote for Ime. I think, and then yeah, those are probably the only two. Yeah, Kenny Atkinson and Ime probably. Um, and that's it. Those are all the main awards. And we kept it under 30 minutes. Hooray! All right. Thank you guys for joining me for these mid-season report cards. I hope you enjoyed it. I do have a video about the All-Star game. Check that out. It should be up. It should definitely be up. I'll put a card in the top right corner. And yeah, thank you all for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. We have 30 more games left of the season. And then we have the play-in. And then playoff time. So strap in. We'll get to all that. And I will see you guys in the next video. Cheers.